Drugs.
Be careful, Valentina, they're saying you're pretty confident, but here in MMA I ain't the one that you want a problem with, so stop it, bitch. Or you wanna gon' have to drop a bitch. I ain't about to lose and go out like my homegirl Rhonda did. But speaking of losing, how about you and Amanda Nunes? She beat you twice, and for this fight she's teaching I'm the student, never truant. Cause I really wanna beat you, I'ma do it. When I do, please don't go to the media with excuses. I know you beat me in Muay Thai, but this is different. This is more than throwing punches, knees and kicks and clinching. This is more like war. These motherfucking chicks is vicious, and anything goes. I don't fear any of these hoes, not even Rose, Tatiana, just Andrade, or Cyborg. If you're trying to frighten me, then you should try more. When we fight, we'll get it poppin' like July 4th. At UFC 231, you're gonna die, whore. It's the fight game that I adore. I gave up everything to fight these wars, to become the greatest fighter in the world. So I hope you get what you're paying for. Be careful with me. Do you know who you're fighting? About my legacy or about my striking? You might beat these other girls around the world, but they ain't nothing like me. Be careful with me. Yeah. It's not a threat, it's a warning. Be careful with me. Yeah, I'm writing some bad words and your name on a water bottle. Be careful with me. Be careful with me.
This is Sean O'Malley, and you're watching Full-Time MMA. Don't be a bagel-biting, bagel-bitch boy, bagel-bitch back.
What is up, full-time family? There we go. We got it fixed. What is going on, everybody? Let me make sure you guys can hear me. We're good. Mic's on. All right. What's going on, family? This is going to be a short show today. I'm talking 30, 45 minutes. One of the shortest ones because I got work today, and there's also not a whole lot to talk about, full-time family. So let's pull up the chat, and then we'll get straight into the show, and we'll be out of your hair in less than an hour. Unemployed Mario Yamasaki says, man, it's freezing balls over here in Chicago. I can only imagine, man. I'm in Kansas and my fucking balls are frozen like fucking Jack on the Titanic and shit. MMA Addict says, the boogie bish. What's going on, MMA Addict? Pinhead in here. I'm him, 247. What's going on, brother? Unemployed Mario Yamasaki in the building. Let's go, full-time family. Let's start the show. Today, pretty much, not much news going on. At least not that much that I give a shit about. Man, you guys want to hear something? Just a little thought. I was way too balls deep into MMA, you guys, for no good damn reason. For no good reason. Like, I was over here making this shit like it was my fucking career and shit. Like, what's going on? Every single daily fucking news. And I got to admit, the last couple of weeks I've pulled back a little bit. You know, as far as I've took my first fucking day off in like the last 2 years. My first 2 days off. Feels pretty good. Yeah, man. Be honest with the full-time family, chop it up. I've been watching some NFL, some NBA, playing some fantasy basketball and football. Man, I've been rocking out with my cock out on these other sports, but I'm still, you know, going hard for MMA. But yeah, man, I gotta admit, it feels pretty good. So, and yeah, I was thinking about it like, man, I probably pissed a couple people at the UFC off. Like, I'm all in their business and shit. I'm just some fucking random fan over here on YouTube. Fucking just spouting off like I know shit. So I bet they just, you know, reflected and thinking about my channel a little bit recently. And yeah, man, I think I was going too hard. But it is what it is, you know. We got shadow banned and it allowed us to pull back a little bit and look where we were at. Like, why the fuck did we get shadow banned? Maybe I'm just too far in these people's business. Who knows? Either way, I'm really happy with the way things have been going. So just a side note that I've been thinking about as far as the channel is concerned. As far as that, though, let's talk about some MMA, man. We got UFC Buenos Aires, Argentina coming up. I mean, whenever I was balls deep, like I was about a year ago, every single card was great to me. Like this card right here, I like. As a hardcore fan, I like this card. But now that I've pulled back a little bit, this card sucks ass, guys. Sorry. This card sucks balls. I'm a guy that's usually interested in the Fight Pass prelims, and I still am. Like, Nad Narimani, I would be looking forward to Nad Narimani's fight. Devin Powell, I like this fight. Hector Aldana, see how he does. Humberto Bandenet versus Austin Arnett. I like these fights, but if you're just talking about will they draw me in if I'm doing something else? No. But I do like all of these fights, not going to lie. This fight actually right here is interesting. Bartosz Fabinski versus Michel Praceres, because both of these dudes are more grapplers. Bartosz Fabinski, kind of like a less skilled Kamaru Usman. We just saw what he was able to do to Emil Mek. That's going to be a fun, well, not a fun fight, but interesting to see the results, but definitely not going to be an entertaining fight. Well, it could be. It's MMA. It could be. Could just be a quick submission or something, but probably going to be a grind out war, whoever can impose their will on the other guy. So Arpit Singh says 8,000 congratulations. Thank you, man. Thanks for that. You know what I'm saying? 8,000, that's definitely a new mile marker. What are we at? Like 8,030? I don't even keep track of that shit no more, but I appreciate it, brother. Pinhead says, I think so. I didn't even do an 8,000 sub Q&A. Like, that's how much I've been kind of, what's it called, taken aback from this YouTube shit. Like, I've still been grinding every day, but I don't know, man. It's been some weird shit going on, so I gotta chill out a little bit. So Cynthia Calvillo, she's coming back, taking on Poliana Botello. That's an interesting fight. Guido Canetti, Marlon Vera, interesting. Cesar Ferreira taking on Ian Heinisch, the Hurricane. Don't really care about that one. Khalil Roundtree Jr. versus Johnny Walker. He just knocked out Gokhan Saki. Can he beat Johnny Walker? We'll see. Ricardo Lamas, yeah, the main event and the co-main event are what I'll really be there for. These are some good fights. We'll see how Lamas looks against Elkins. This should be
fairly, I don't want to say easy, but definitely a winnable fight for Ricardo Lamas. I mean, as long as he can avoid Darren Elkins' clutch gene. I mean, Darren Elkins, tough as nails, he'll get his ass whooped for 2 rounds and then come back and finish you. So if Ricardo Lamas can avoid that, I think this is a good fight for him. And then Neil Magny versus Santiago Ponzinibbio as the headliner. That'll be a fun fight card, but nothing crazy. I'm sure we'll talk about it more like this Friday or something. So there's a little quick look at UFC Argentina, UFC Buenos Aires, main event and co-main event. Not the most stacked, but still some fun fights for the hardcore fans. The rest, I mean, it's all right. I mean, I like a lot of these fights on the main card, but yeah, not super stacked. So we'll get into a few of the news topics today, family. And like I said, we'll be out of here rather soon. I only got like 5 things to talk about today. Robert Whittaker versus Kelvin Gastelum set for UFC 234 in Australia. It is official as a whistle. We already knew it was happening. We didn't know the location or anything like that, but we did know these guys were next to fight for the middleweight title. Robert Whittaker taking on Kelvin Gastelum. Robert Whittaker, the current champ, he was injured a little bit and shit, so now they're toughing the Ultimate Fighter. They're coaching the Ultimate Fighter. Did I just say they're toughing the Ultimate Fighter? Now they're coaching the Ultimate Fighter, Robert Whittaker and Kelvin Gastelum. And at the end, of course, the UFC usually concludes with the guys that are coaching the show squaring off. Now, these guys are going to be fighting on pay-per-view because it's for a title fight. But I would imagine the Ultimate Fighter finale is like the day before, you know, where these guys were coaching. But we'll see. Either way, it's official. It's set. It's in Australia. Robert Whittaker will be the hometown champion, defending his title against Kelvin Gastelum at UFC 234. That Whittaker's definitely the best middleweight on the planet. He's shown that, you know, time and time again now, the way he got his belt, defending his belt. But this is a different matchup, man. Kelvin Gastelum's actually a beast. If you're not some type of Chris Weidman type of dominant, Yoel Romero, like, if you're not some type of dominant middleweight wrestler, Gastelum's got a chance against anybody, I would argue. But it's going to be tough to beat Whittaker. But still, I'm not definitely wouldn't even think of counting Gastelum out of this fight. It's going to be a great title fight at UFC 234. Moving on, we got TJ Dillashaw saying that the UFC is paying me a fuckload of money to move down and kill the 125-pound division. Taking it in stride. There's a lot of people out there shedding tears about the flyweight division, and Demetrius is gone. TJ's like, I'm about to get a fuckload of money to finish that shit off. The motherfucking snake. Let's go. He said the UFC wants to get rid of the division and they hired me to go down and close it and get another belt in the process. It's a win-win for me. They're paying me a fuckload of money to move down and kill the 125-pound division and collect a second belt. So it's game time. He said, it seems like I'm going to take it over, man. I mean, if I'm the champ in both weight classes, why even have it? All the attention is at 135 anyway, so at the end of the day, make the guys that they believe should stick around come up and challenge for the belt. And, dude, just when he puts it like that, TJ Dillashaw is probably looking at the closing of this flyweight division and rubbing his hands together like Birdman. Like, oh, shit. Because it's going to be a bunch of, are you it's like flyweight. I mean, it's like female featherweight. There's not, well, except for at men's bantamweight, there already are bantamweights. But I'm saying the UFC is bringing in this new featherweight division, and they're adding a bunch of fucking bantamweights. So Cyborg's looking at these girls like, they can't fuck with me. None of these girls are taking my belt. And that's what I see here with TJ Dillashaw. Like, oh, really? You're closing down this division, and all these guys got to move up? That's a bunch of smaller bantamweights that are about to enter the fucking pool, right? Let's say Sergio Pettis moves up. Let's say Joseph Benavidez moves back up. Those are all new potential fights for TJ Dillashaw. More winnable fights, but you got to wonder, of course, clearly, the Marlon Moraeses and the Rafael Sunsals, these guys clearly deserve their shot. So you got to wonder where all these flyweights that trickle into the bantamweight division, where are they going to fall into the rankings? Are they going to have to fight some of these guys and establish themselves as bantamweights now? Be interesting to see once this division actually does get closed, how that works out. But if you're TJ Dillashaw, you're like, shit, what? There's a bunch of flyweight contenders that want to come up to bantamweight? Oh, I'm welcoming them with open arms. So, hell yeah, man. With that being said, moving on, I'm already starting the process. I'm already working on it. It's going to be better this way anyway because there's no excuse. No excuses that I'm the bigger man, that I'm way bigger than when I'm fighting him, because I'm going to come down and make the weight. honestly, it's better for whoever's going to the other division. Because, yeah, now there's no excuse if you win. But what if you lose? Now you got the excuse, right? If Cejudo is moving up, yeah, that gives him an excuse. Oh, yeah, I lost to the bigger guy. But now that you're moving down, you can say, oh, man, I had a terrible weight cut. So really, whoever moves divisions kind of gets the win-win, because no matter what, you got an excuse, a built-in excuse. I was at a new division, it didn't work out, yeah. So it works both ways. He said, I believe we're on the same weight anyways. I'm a small 135er. I've got no problem making 125. It's gonna be a little more work. I'm gonna be a little more dedicated and be in a little better shape. So I'm excited for the opportunity. Like I said, it's a win-win for me. I'll continue to grow my legacy, get another belt, and be the last flyweight champion ever. TJ Dillashaw, big plans to close the flyweight division down and make a fuck ton of money in the process. Let's get it. We'll see how that fight goes. Couple more things to talk about. Michael Johnson not calling out Zabit Magomedsharipov, but he's all for the UFC 232 matchup. We all hear about Zabit getting ducked potentially by Yair Rodriguez at every turn, and so Michael Johnson's like, eh? Is there a featherweight that needs some action? Because I ain't never turned down a matchup. I'm in there like swimwear. So, we'll see, because Yair Rodriguez did just get that fucking epic last-second knockout over the weekend over the Korean Zombie. And so, I'm sure there's still a lot of people that would love to see Yair versus Zabit. But, if for whatever reason Yair still is not interested in the Zabit fight, Zabit's going to need a new opponent, and Zabit versus Michael Johnson sounds good to me. This is what Michael Johnson had to say. He said, if he wants to fight in December, I'm all for that. He's a very tough guy. He's up and coming, and it'll be a great fight as well. He's ranked. None of those guys did call him out, and I don't think anybody really has called him out. I'm not necessarily going on air calling him out, but I'm saying that's a fight that I would take, of course. So I'm not going to call him out, but I'm also letting you know if he calls me out, I'm fucking in there. I'm not going to duck his ass. So I'm just trying to stay active at this point. I'm staying in the training room and trying to get better myself and get busy. At the end of the day, we're fighters. This is what we do. We're not trainers and guys who just can train all day. We're fighters. So the more I can fight, the better position I'll be in physically and mentally. So we'll see where the Menace goes from here. The Menace is coming off of, I believe, a unanimous or a split decision win over Andre Feely. Or did he fight again since then? Let's pull up the Menace Michael Johnson. I know he fought Feely, got a much need. Oh, he fought Lobov. He just fought the GOAT. Okay. So he beat Feely and he beat Lobov. So there's 2 wins for Michael Johnson. And he's looking to potentially get a third after going on that skid he was on. So we'll see where he goes from there. A couple more things to talk about, though. Khabib Nurmagomedov. Hey, man, people love to come out and point out the bad things and the drama and all this shit. So anytime I see somebody doing something good, I love to point it out. Whether it's McGregor, whether you think they're doing it for publicity, whatever the fuck the reason is, I like to bring it up because I think it's pretty fucking cool when people do good things. And by the way, I don't care if you record when you do a good thing. I'm not one of those assholes. Oh, yeah, but you had to record it and let everybody know. I don't fucking care. Yeah. You motherfuckers been killing me in the media saying I'm some fucking, wild, fucking drunk, cokehead, gangster, mobster. Yeah, I'm going to let you motherfuckers see when I do something nice. Clearly, because I'm not getting no good media when I do it. Y'all ain't looking me out. Has Conor McGregor did anything good? No, no one gives a shit. So if it gets caught on video, I don't give a fuck because they get enough bad publicity. What's wrong with some good publicity? Khabib Nurmagomedov, they treated him like a wild man for, after everything that led up to UFC 229 and the brawl and everything that happened after the fight. Everyone ignored the lead-up and made it seem like Khabib was just some fucking wild man that couldn't wait to start a brawl. And he got a little bit of a bad rap for that. So, hey, I'm going to point out the good shit he's doing. And shout out to my boy Dennis Espinoza. He pointed this out a couple of weeks ago. A Team Khabib fan account, they said, this isn't getting any press for some reason, but Khabib's out here doing charity work in Africa, just donated $1 million and no media sites were covering it. Well, now we got the photo and people are actually picking up on it. Look at my motherfucking dog, Khabib, over here with Sugar Rashad Evans. He says, I'm beyond impressed with Khabib Nurmagomedov for making it his top priority to go to Nigeria and build wells for water. Anyone can say they want the world to be a better place, but it takes a special person to make the change and start with them. If we want to turn things around in this world, the only person we need to change is ourselves. Next year, I'll climb Mount Kilimanjaro with @Waterboy Sword to raise money to build wells in Tanzania. Yo, clearly, I'm going to have to fucking do like a Raising Wills for Africa fund, because that's definitely, I see a lot of, especially in MMA, right? We're all MMA fans. A lot of MMA charities have been catered to wills in Africa lately, right? Because definitely salute to Justin Wren, the Fight for the Forgotten. He spoke on the Joe Rogan podcast, the Ariel Helwani podcast, and even on like with the Cash App, if you use their code on Joe Rogan's podcast and you like put in hashtag Joe Rogan, like right as a referral bonus, not only do they give you $5, but they also give $5 to Fight for the Forgotten, Justin Wren's charity, which is super dope. And I believe he's also building wells in Africa. So now Khabib, face of the sport, he's over there building wells. Rashad Evans ready to get some wells up in Tanzania. You know what I'm saying? These motherfuckers out here getting these wells up, getting some clean water for my people over here. Let's get it. I'm sure Francis Ngannou, okay, I was going to make a joke. I was going to say, I'm sure Francis Ngannou, you know what I'm saying? He's pretty happy. But I was joking because Derek Lewis and Francis Ngannou, their whole back and forth. He said, I'm going to pay him back for selling my people to America leading up to the fight. Oh, God, Derek Lewis. So fucking funny, bro. So funny. I can't believe some of the shit he says. That's epic, though. So, yeah, man, Khabib doing some charity work, man. Got to point out the good with the bad. So, well, salute to Khabib and the work he's doing. Even though they're playing with this money, they held $1 million up. Guess what he's still doing? When he's not meeting with Putin or one of these other high-ranking, big political or millionaire, guess what? I got some time to go do some good shit, too. And yeah, it is what it is. So salute to Khabib. He's out here doing the Lord's work. With that being said, only one or two more things to talk about. And one of them is Paige VanZant still interested in a WWE career. She met with Stephanie McMahon this week. And it all starts. I do think we'll probably see Paige VanZant maybe once, maybe twice again in the UFC. Get her some good matchups like that girl she was supposed to be fighting, other pretty chick. What's her name? Rachel Dolezal? No. Rachel Ostovich, I think is her name. Rachel Ostovich versus Paige VanZant was being targeted for the beginning of the year. But Paige VanZant to the WWE, in my opinion, for sure for Paige VanZant, that's the best place to go, because if I'm just being 100% honest, Paige VanZant doesn't have much of a future in the UFC unless she's going to be like a Miesha Tate type person, a spokesman or a spokeswoman for the UFC on the outside, still got great knowledge about the sport and can talk and be marketable, but not really championship caliber anymore, so not really going to win the belt. Paige VanZant at 115 was struggling. Now she's up at 125. She lost the fight at 125 and against Jessie Rose Clark, and it's like, well, now where does she go from here? She had her arm broke, so she's got a lot of time off to consider where's she going to go, but in the meantime, she's also got a boob job, which means she's definitely not cutting down to 115 pounds anymore. She already had a terrible time making it to 115 pounds before she had two fucking, pieces of plastic, whatever the fuck, on her chest. So that's 115 is out of the picture. That's out of the picture. Now it's at 125 and you still got some useless weight. I've talked about the titty claws in the past. I think if chicks got big titties, they're at a disadvantage in the UFC when it comes to the weigh-in, because that's useless weight. So if you get fake titties, that's really working against you in the UFC. Unless we add the titty clause, which is where you allow female fighters at weigh-ins to set their titties on the towel. Kind of like Derek Lewis or Daniel Cormier pressing on the towel. You let a chick rest her titties on the towel. That way it doesn't take away from her weight for the actual fight. Or you got to just weigh each titty and subtract that from their weight, because that shit don't count. And of course it works with men as well. You get a motherfucker coming in there with the monster cock, Francis Ngannou, heavyweight. That motherfucker might weigh 10 pounds. We don't know. I'm just saying, there's got to be something done to level this shit out. Do you want it to be fair, or do you want it to be fair? We want a level playing field, right? I'm just saying. It's kind of like the opposite of a weight bully. Are we having fun here yet? It's kind of like the opposite of a fucking weight bully. People cut as much weight as they can to have as much fucking weight in a fight. Well, you got these big ass titties and good fucking luck. Good fucking luck. You're literally at a disadvantage. So when I see any girl fighting that's got big titties, I don't even count her losses against her, right? You bring Mackenzie Dern or somebody in here. Chick I was just watching fight, smaller chick, but she was moving around. Bro, they're at a disadvantage. They are at a disadvantage. And it's for our viewing pleasure a lot of the times as far as men is concerned. They ain't getting fucking titty implants just because they want them. It's clearly, in my mind, a lot of the time, if it's not for marketing, you know, it's to sell yourself or to be attractive. And so I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I wouldn't give a damn if every chick in the UFC got, you know what I'm saying, fake tits. As long as it doesn't get held against them in their weight class. You know? Boom. Let a chick get, I don't know, up to 10 pounds. Up to 10 pounds? Is that too much? We can have this conversation another day. But either way, we got here because I don't know where Paige VanZant's going to go in the UFC from here. She's definitely not going back down to 115 pounds. Now she's stuck at 125, and she's already not one of the most world-class fighters out there. She's a great fighter, but champion, I don't think that's where she's going to go. And so if that is the case, we got to move to the WWE, like Ronda Rousey. What'd Ronda Rousey do? Got her ass kicked a couple times and go somewhere where it's not about if you're the best fighter in the world. It's about if you're marketable. It's about if you can talk trash. It's about if you're good on the microphone. And it's about if you look good and if you're popular. Then you can make great money in the WWE. Yeah, you're not as much of a badass, clearly. If you're fighting in the UFC, you're way more of a badass than somebody fighting in the WWE if you're worried about what your fans think. Yeah, facts. But as far as personally, that's a great opportunity. You can't knock on anybody going to make millions of dollars in athletics. You know, you can say, oh, it's fake fighting. Whatever the fuck you want to call it, it's a show. It's a show. If you've ever went to a play, if you've ever went to the movies, that's fake too, guys. Guess what? It's a show. You go to the movies and you see motherfuckers shoot 'em up, bang, bang, any type of movie you want. It's a fucking show. You go to the WWE, the difference is they're actually using their athletics putting on a show. It's a show, guys, so nothing wrong with the WWE as far as I'm concerned in that aspect. And if you're going to make more money going to the WWE, then I ain't ever going to knock somebody for wanting to make more money for their family, especially if it's a fighter, someone that gets punched in the face for a living. Because, you know, there's a lot of people out there and they say, oh, I hate people that sell out, and if you do something just for the money, I don't like you. You know, and I've said this before, that's real fucking easy to say when you're comfortable. When you've already made your money, when you're sitting on money and you're comfortable and content, and you've already got a good job or a good family, and you ain't worried about how you're going to pay your bills or how your family's going to pay their bills, it's real easy to fucking say, oh, you shouldn't sell out. But when you need to make some fucking money, get your ass to the WWE. Get the fuck out of here, dog. People that... I get it. You don't want people to have to do something for the money. But when you're in a bad situation and you have to do something for the money, you can't hold that against somebody. And that's just my view. But yeah, Paige VanZant, I think the WWE, great move for PVZ. I actually think she would have way more success in the WWE than she could at this point in the UFC. So, one other thing. Oh, that's just the poster for Magny versus Ponzinibbio. That's pretty much it, guys. That's all we got today as far as the show is concerned. So, we'll pull up the chat. Salute to the family. Other than that, man, like I said, it's going to be a shorter show today. I got to get to work and not a lot to talk about. Daniel Cormier, the greatest in the building, says MMA is the purest form of sport. Yes, sir. I seen it. Jackass seemed pretty real, says unemployed Mario Yamasaki. Yeah, a lot of that shit on Jackass I'm sure was real, but still a show. Daniel Cormier is the greatest. I embarrassed Mario on the fights with friends. He left. Oh, snaps. Oh, snaps. Don't start at DC. It's too early for your BS. Oh, shit. Don't worry, unemployed Mario Yamasaki. We're about to be getting out of here anyway. DC's clearly ready to pick on somebody. Him said WWE is making $2 billion off from Fox deal. Paige will make 3 times more money in wrestling. Oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying. You go over there for the cash. You ain't the same type of warrior, but it's still fucking getting to the bag, and I ain't gonna ever knock nobody for that. So with that being said, man, thank you all for coming out today. Pinhead, Daniel Cormier, I'm him, Cam Murphy, Kenshiro, Ryu, MMA. Let's get it. Everybody else that's came through to the chat, I appreciate it. MMA Addict, Mr. Perfect 2005, Arpit saying, yo, salute to the family. With that being said, guys, that's about all we got for today's show. We'll be back tomorrow. And with that being said, we'll play a song, but it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments.
Be careful, Valentina, they're saying you're pretty confident, but here in MMA, I ain't the one that you want a problem with, so stop it, bitch. Or you wanna gon' have to drop a bitch. I ain't about to lose and go out like my homegirl Ronda did.
But speaking of losing, how about you and Amanda Nunes?
She beat you twice, and for this fight, she's teaching I'm the student.
Never truant, cause I really wanna beat you. I'ma do it when I do. Please don't go to the media with excuses. I know you beat me in Muay Thai, but this is different.
This is more than throwing punches, knees and kicks and clinching. This is more like war. These motherfucking chicks is vicious, and anything goes. I don't fear any of these hoes, not even Rose, Tatiana, just Andrade, or Cyborg. If you're trying to frighten me, then you should try more. When we fight, we'll get it poppin' like July 4th.
At UFC 231, you're gonna
die. It's the fight game that I adore. I gave up everything to fight these wars
to become the greatest fighter in the world. So I hope you get what you're paying for. Be careful with me. Yeah. Do you know who you're fighting? About my legacy, about my striking.
You might beat these other girls around the world, but they ain't nothing like me. Be careful with me.
Yeah.
It's not a threat, it's a warning.
Be careful with me.
Yeah, I'm writing some bad words and your name on a water bottle. Be careful with me. Be careful with me.
Shout out to the full-time family. Be careful with me.
Support us on
Patreon or PayPal. Links are in the description box. Be careful with me. Yo, we out.